Today I'm going to be talking about Beef. Here we go. Beef is a brand new show from A24 out on Netflix right now. And I think I'm going to spoil the show. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Overall, I'd say it's worth it if you have Netflix, or find a free subscription, or go watch it some other way, maybe on the high seas. But it's most definitely worth it. It was very good. I didn't expect it to be this good. I didn't know anything going into it, but it exceeded any expectations I had, which is saying a lot because I've seen high reviews of this show and it's lived up to everything so far, at least in my opinion. So this is another A24 movie that is heavily Asian casted, and every Asian heavily Asian casted A24 movie I've seen so far has killed it. And I believe there's another movie coming out sometime this year that's also going to be very good. At least it's got very good reviews. I think it's a rom com. But no, this cast was perfect. I typically don't care for Ali Wong, but she played a very different. I don't know if I've ever seen her play a role like this. I don't know if I've ever seen her in a movie before. I've seen her in another TV show, but she killed it in this. Steven also was very good. David too, who I've seen in other things, killed it. I mean, the whole cast was just so good. So the cast was great in this, like I said, but the storytelling is perfect too, and it's a story that I haven't seen told before. There has to be examples of this. Um, Let me know if there's like some lineage here, because I feel like this story is something that you can see grassroots of it in other movies, but I like I like this show because I did not see it coming. I did not see the escalation go the way it was all the way. I think partially was because I binged it and I was just enthralled into the plot. You know a show's good when you're not even thinking about, oh, this is gonna happen next, or what is gonna happen next. You're taken by it. Um, you can rate a show by how much it takes you out of everything else that's going on in your life. This show does that. Um, I think a lot of dumb stuff can do that very well because it's not serious. It doesn't have a lot to it. The show isn't dumb at all. Um, I think the message in it is very deep. I think the characters themselves are very, very interesting. They remind me a lot of BoJack and Diane and BoJack Horseman. If you haven't seen that show, that is one of the best cartoons ever. But the Amy and Danny character are kind of like that. They're kind of these nihilistic. They're going through it right now. They're trying to figure out where they are in life, and they're angry. They're angry. They're upset. They don't know what they're doing. They're scared. They're trying to figure their shit out. And what I love about this is that it shows the escalation of two people who aren't just stopping and talking and being considerate of each other. And at the end, they find out they're not so different. And they show it in a beautiful way of, at one part in the very end episode, they have them talking at the same time. So we get to see where throughout the series they're put up against each other, like they're conflicting, but in reality they're kind of the same person, just had different circumstances, I guess. I believe that was the purpose of the show, but obviously there's a lot deeper things out here. Obviously things that I probably can't see, because when you're taken by a show, you're not looking at all the little details if you're so enthralled with the characters. Like David Cho's character was just bananas. I think I listened to an interview and they told him just be yourself, which is kind of crazy by how the way he acts. And I think that kind of gets to why people love this, why I love it, is because of this balance they found of being really intellectual, where I think a lot of the snobs will love it. I personally love it. I love having details. I love having a message, but also being fun and adventurous and exciting and scary and funny. And this show is very funny. It's very subtle. I wouldn't call it a comedy because it's not. It's not a comedy. Um, but contrary to what a lot of people say, you can have something that's serious and still be funny. I think Succession does it well. I think this show absolutely nailed it. Um, but like that balance they found, the theme Also, I just love the themes, especially in today, where I feel like we need more stories like this, where two people are just enraged and they're going through their own lives and they're having their own difficulties, and they get in these crossfires and they act like they're enemies when they're just kind of the same person. They're going through the same things. They could really use each other and use each other's compassion, and they don't realize it till the end when they get drugged up, which I found was funny. And they're compassionate to each other, and they realize, oh man, that we both had things go happen to us that hurt us, that we're not so different. I feel like a lot of people could use that compassion. Um, but I think it's a good reflection of reality, which is also why I love it. And I can also appreciate the escalation. I mean, when it starts out, you're like, all right, how far can this really go? Like, and how it started out too. I mean, the man was gonna kill himself, and that kind of leads into both characters being sympathetic. I think you feel for both characters, the pressure they feel. I mean, they're both going through it. It's both of them. There's not a good guy, bad guy dynamic. I mean, there's obviously bad choices and good choices, or like, I don't know if even that's right, but like, you're not rooting for someone. At least I wasn't. I'm sure people will gravitate to one side or another, but I can see myself in both characters, and I appreciate that. And it doesn't feel like there was a right or wrong. It was just like, we need to chill out, and they're just so at it. And like I said, the man he was attempting suicide at the beginning of the show, and you're like, oh my god, what, is he okay? Is he gonna make it through it? And you see, I don't know, get up and then get knocked back down again. And it's the same for Ali Wong's character. She's going through it, she's fighting something challenging for herself, and it just makes for compelling TV. So I want to get into the very last episode, because this is typically the kind of episode I like the most, and it was almost perfect for me, but it wasn't quite there. So why I love that kind of episode is you see them at each other the whole time. I am an absolute sucker for two characters who are at odds being stuck in a situation where they just talk, where they just have dialogue. Euphoria does it brilliantly. Not necessarily two characters at it, but they have the scene in those in between episodes where Rue and I forget his name are sitting at the diner just talking. If these two characters were just like trapped, like they just couldn't move, they couldn't do anything, and just talking, it would have been perfect. I think the drugs, while I see why it was a choice, I kind of wish it wasn't there. I wish they found another way to force them to talk in that situation. It was like almost perfect for me, like so close. I still will rewatch this episode so many times because I'm a sucker for that stuff. Just talking about how they were the same, how they were different, the reaction to not realizing the struggles they've gone through, the pain that they've been causing each other and causing themselves. The realization that they're not so different, and then the bigger ideas, the bigger concepts that they discuss. I don't think either of these characters are like super smart or like super geniuses. Obviously, Ali Wong's character seems to be a little bit more on top of it, but they all feel like real and aware, and also like these episodes because it's really the writer getting out his feelings or her feelings. And honestly, those kind of episodes, when done right, when you have this whole build up, it's getting faster, and you just take this step back, and you just zoom out, and you don't know who's dying, if they died beforehand, what's really going on. And I like that the ending is bleak. You don't need to know what's going on. It doesn't matter because you've got the story. They've found peace. They're not angry anymore. They've settled the beef, and that's perfect in my eyes. if I were to give this whole show a rating, it would most definitely be an A. I don't know if I'd give it the 100%. That's a high grade. That's a high grade, but it's most definitely like 96, 97 or so. Um, yeah, I would say around there. But yeah, it's around there. Um, so those are my thoughts on Beef. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Peace.